Get ready to be inspired by the people, stories, and opportunities in Africa. We're a global community of Africans and friends of Africa with no boundaries. Together, we celebrate the continent's successes and help provide solutions to some of its greatest challenges. Impact Africa airs live every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. GMT at listenvisionlive.com. You can also catch previous episodes on iTunes and on the show's website, impactafricaonline.com. Connect with Impact Africa on Twitter and Facebook at @UImpactAfrica. Together, we'll discover that the real Africa is full of amazing talents and great opportunities.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Impact Africa. Of course, I'm not Tope. Tope is still in Nigeria, and she's watching. So she's kind of like my boss watching what I'm doing today. So I promise I'll be good. Before I get started, I have to say, Tope has been an amazing mentor of mine. We met through the Diaspora African Women's Network, and I have to thank her for trusting me with this opportunity to host her show, and I hope I make her proud. So a little bit about myself. My name is Vienna Mbagaya, and I'm your host today. You can trust me. You can tell me all your secrets. I'm just as good as Tope. I run a website called theinvisibleneighbors.com. And on the website, I document the achievements of immigrants and first-generation Americans, and I tell their stories. So a lot of people come and ask me, well, what do you think about this policy and what's going on in the country right now? And what I say is, there's a lot of people who are already talking about the policy and the legislation behind all of that. That's not my perspective. Coming from a social perspective means I get to talk about the people themselves, not about the laws that apply to them. I tell their stories and I personify the immigrant so that you know who they are and you hear their voices and you listen to their stories. This fall, I am fortunate enough to be going on a campus tour. I want to come to your school, yes. I get to go back to school and learn from students, specifically diaspora students. So that's millennial immigrants and first-generation Americans. And I get to talk to them about their lives, about what it's like to be to navigate dual cultures, and how that cultural literacy informs their perspective on academic achievement, leadership, self-efficacy, and career development. I hope to travel across the country and get to meet as many people as possible. And as my friend Adidana Ashibir says, she says, whenever we have good ideas, we share it with our friends and people that know us and people that love us. And so that idea does evolve and it does get better, but it doesn't get challenged as much as when you go outside of your comfort zone and you explore. So that's my mission. I have a hypothesis, a very clear hypothesis, which is there is no difference between diaspora here in DC or where I've lived in New York, Jersey, Boston, Connecticut. There is no difference between diaspora here in the area that I know and the ones around the country. And my job is to explore that, to challenge that idea, and to go out there and find out what are diaspora people in the South, in the West Coast, in the Midwest. What do they think about themselves? What do they think about the culture? And I can't wait. In a year, I hope I have as much information. Actually, I hope everything that I think has been turned around completely, and I'm informed by diverse of ideas, and I cannot wait. All right, so that's all about me. And if you need to know more, you should always need to know more. The website is theinvisibleneighbors.com, and you can reach me at viennanairobi@gmail.com. All right, so today's show is about the U.S.-Africa Summit, and I'm so excited because today is the eve of the week starting tomorrow, which is the Africa Summit week, I call it. I've been telling everyone about it, specifically cab drivers. I've been like, listen, you're going to make so much money because it's going to be so much traffic. And all 51 heads of state from Africa are going to be here. I don't know if everyone knows that Africa is a continent with a lot of countries in it. All their presidents are going to be landing in D.C. They're probably doing it now in their private jets and whatnot. So it's going to be crowded. And I've heard a rumor that, I'm starting a rumor, that federal employees have been asked to telework and work from home on Tuesday and Thursday. And all I'm saying is if I were a federal employee, I would recommend to my boss that I also telework and work from home on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I would recommend that. All right, so who better to talk about the U.S.-Africa Summit today than my first guest, my first guest. I say my because she's my friend, but it's our first guest. Her name is Letitia Mulamula, and she is amazing and brilliant, and you'll find out why in a few seconds. I'm about to read her bio. So impressive. I'm a little jealous. Just kidding. No, I'm not. All right. So Miss Letitia Mulamula is the co-founder and vice president of the Eastern Africa Diaspora Business Council, which is a U.S.-based non-governmental organization. She is in charge of implementing organizational strategies for promotion of trade and investment partnership in the public and private sector between U.S. and East Africa. I'm not done. She's also an engineering management consultant with over 10 years of experience in manufacturing processes, water, energy, and sanitation projects, organizational programs, and business process organization. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's pretty awesome. It sounds impressive. Almost done. She is currently a doctoral student. She's a student. So funny. Oh, she loves it. Okay. She's currently a doctoral student of ecological technology design at the University of Maryland. We're going to ask her what that means, where she's researching effective energy models for sustainable economic development in sub-Saharan African regions. Basically, she's a superhero, and she's just among us, pretending to be mortal. So here she is. Welcome, Letitia.
Thank you, Vienna. You were too kind in that introduction. I'm almost I feel foreign to myself, having heard and listened to you.
You're pretty awesome.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about your work, and try to use layman's terms, because when I was reading your bio, there's a lot of things I read that I'm like, what? Processes? What? No. Okay, so tell us more about yourself.
Okay, so I'm, as you mentioned, I'm with the Eastern Africa Diaspora Business Council, and this is a group, an organization that was put together by a group of diasporans, mostly professionals, most of who were born in Africa but are working in the U.S., and the intent was to be able to put the diaspora in the middle of promoting trade and investment opportunities between East Africa and the U.S.
Got it.
Really, it's focuses on East Africa, but of course, lessons learned can be applied across Africa.
Yes.
So what we do is we put together forums that enable U.S. investors, that also enable African investors and governments to interact in a way that promotes partnerships that would advance, development in various sectors, from healthcare, infrastructure, energy, with the intent of, raising the standards of living across the two areas in East Africa and the U.S. as well. So that is, in a nutshell, what we do.
So I gotta ask you, because you're a student, do you have an exam coming up or something?
Yes, I do have an exam coming up.
I knew it.
I have an exam coming up on Monday, but I'm sure it can be done.
I know, because
somehow.
From what I understand, the last 2 weeks have been really busy for you, and next week is going to be even busier because you guys are holding a lot of events. Plus, you have an exam. So let's skip the exam, pretend it doesn't exist, and let's talk about the events you guys have planned for the week for the U.S. Africa Summit.
I would very much like to skip the exam, by all means. So, most people know that there's a lot of energy in the D.C. area surrounding the opportunities that Africa provides for slowing economies across the world. And more so, it's going to be more so attested by the hordes of people that are going to be flooding the DC streets. And of course, spewing out into the Maryland suburbs surrounding the city. So we, as a diasporan community representing the greater East African region, thought this would be an opportune moment to bring together potential investors, U.S. investors, who would like to learn more about some of these areas in which they can engage the continent. In a forum here, several activities actually. On Monday the 4th, we are partnering with Homestrings IDEA, which is the International Diaspora Engagement Alliance.
I'll be there.
You will?
I'll be there at 8 a.m.
Oh, perfect.
Which is the free part of the event. And the afternoon one, if it's free, I'll take 3. And the afternoon one is a little costly for little Vienna here. So I'll be there in the morning, though. I'll support you guys.
No, that'll be actually quite valuable. That particular session focuses on the diaspora community.
Oh, good. Perfect.
It does. So it's supposed to be enabling the diaspora to see, to learn about opportunities through which they can invest their diaspora dollar more efficiently in promoting economic development in those areas that they care for as far as sector goes, but also in those regions, geographical regions that they feel more passion for. So there's going to be a lot of learning opportunities. There are also opportunities to network.
I
with
know.
other diasporans and learn about what other people are doing to engage in the continent. So, diasporans are also transforming the way in which they invested back home.
Yeah.
And they're doing it more in a more structurally managed way.
What does that mean in a more structurally managed way? Like, what is the difference between how they used to and how they do it now?
Yeah, if you're in the diaspora, you pretty much have had those experiences where you would send your dollars home through the traditional means, which were Western Union, wire transfers, and you most likely would rely on relatives and friends, the goodwill to invest your dollar. It was very inefficient, highly risky. You probably didn't quite get much done. But now we have platforms we have programs that HomeStrings, for instance, would have. Diaspora investment funds, for instance, which enabled the diaspora to put their money in, and the money is managed within a pool by people who have experience in managing funds like those. And they can channel that money towards specific
causes or
sectors. For instance, the diaspora bond was the Ethiopian diaspora bond is being used to fund the largest dam in East Africa, frankly, by the Ethiopian government. So these are opportunities by which you actually do know within the next 30 years, I'll be getting my money back and I'll definitely have a return on it, as opposed to I'll be sending my money to Uncle Joe, who will probably build a house for me. And there's really very little return coming out of that, except for, if it does happen, personal accomplishment. So
that's the first event, the HomeStrings event on Monday.
That is on Monday.
Okay.
And there'll be two sectors to it. The afternoon sector will really be looking at investors, people who are quote unquote accredited investors.
Okay, I'm not that.
Neither am I. but there are people who in the diaspora who would be interested in that also, and that provides another opportunity for them to learn. And then on Tuesday we have a full day forum in Largo, Maryland. The Eastern Africa Diaspora Business Council is going to be partnering with the Prince George's County Africa Trade Office and the state of Maryland. And we are really happy to know that to finally get to this moment where we're pulling together Eastern African governments, from across the Eastern African region. We're talking about Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Burundi, and even Ethiopia, South Sudan, Djibouti. I mean, we're bringing them all together to be able to highlight some of those opportunities by which Americans, diasporans, small and medium enterprises can engage in various sectors and sort of be part of this economic growth that is ongoing in Africa.
And so that's Tuesday. I know that you have a couple more events. You're going to be so busy. I can't believe this.
Yes, we do. But it's all quite exciting. I think it's all what we've been dreaming of for the longest time as Africa continues to rise. On Wednesday.
Yeah, because this is historical, like you were saying before. It's a historical moment for Africa.
It is. Africa has been seen in the past as being a land of need, but now it's becoming a trading partner. We're sitting at the table with the U.S. entities and entities across the world trying to get a piece of what we have. Only we're more clever now. We're telling them, okay, let's talk about this by the numbers. So on Wednesday, one of the things that EADBC does is we try to also work with governments, local governments, and to build governance capacity. And so what we're doing on Wednesday is through our partner capacity building program, we're going to have a study tour of the District of Columbia Water and Sewer Authority's renewable energy plant and wastewater treatment plant. It provides an opportunity for our governing administrators to come and learn some of the ways in which some of these services can be actually provided economically sustainably, but also through providing jobs for the people that benefit from them. So this will be pretty good, and I'm quite excited about this, frankly, because the energy plant that is being erected right now, I worked on the design part of it.
So you get to see the end of it. You get to see the outcome of it.
Yes. And and you get to see that the diaspora has been involved here, and we actually do we have skills that can be transformed, not only technical, but we also have networks that we want them to benefit from in learning, in investment partnership, and so on and so forth.
So that's Wednesday. And could you tell us a website where everyone can go to if they would need to know more about all these events that you guys are hosting? Oh,
certainly. You can go to eadiaspora.org events. I'll say that again, eadiaspora.org/events. And it provides a whole list of all those events that we're going to be hosting next week.
This is going to be so crazy.
It is.
It's going to be. So how many events are you going to as of today?
Well, if I could split myself in two, because some of these events have been placed such that they're so attractive, but they all overlap at the same time.
I know. Yeah.
So there is going to be there's going to be an AWEP, Africa Women Entrepreneurs Program.
I'm going to that one, yeah.
A reception, that's on the 6th.
That's on the 6th in the evening.
In the evening,
Yeah.
yes, that will definitely be one to go to. Then there's going to be the Africa Diaspora Symposium at the White House. I think that's going to be on the 6th as well.
I'm going to pretend I'm going to that one. I'm really not. But next year, yay! And
I think this would be quite a great opportunity because we'll have the diaspora being able to talk to, hopefully, being able to talk to people about policy
Yeah.
initiatives by which we
Wow.
can sort of engage more deeply.
yeah,
I think it'll be quite
it's going to be interesting.
a dynamic week.
I cannot wait. I've been telling everyone I'm going to be so busy. I think I'm going to several events a day. And it's so cool. It is going to be so cool to see everyone out and to see how crowded DC is going to be with just Africa stuff.
It's
you know?
going to
It's gonna
be a
awesome.
mad zoo in DC. Actually, I will not try.
Don't
I will
drive.
not. Yes, I will try not to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't resist it, but I think it'll be,
It's
it
gonna
won't
be
be a wise
impossible.
thing to do.
It's going to be impossible navigating the streets. So I feel good about taking the metro, taking the bus. And yeah, I look forward to it. So all you guys are invited. If you see
Yes.
anything, interesting on the website, please, inquire about it and see if you can go. It's going to be awesome. So when we come back from this break, we're going to talk about two main topics. And those are youth and unemployment in Africa, as well as women's economic empowerment. And yeah, so we'll be right back right after this message.
Support for Impact Africa comes from Our Financial Coach, ranked among America's 11 best financial coaches on the web at ourfinancialcoach.com. United for Kids Foundation, committed to healing the world one child at a time. On the web at unitedforkidsfoundation.org. Frad Consulting, planning and designing services where you are always in good company. On the web at fradconsulting.com. And from Outside in HR, pointing great companies to the future of successful HR. On the web at outsideinhrng.com. And from Wiser Advisory, Africa's leading financial advisory, training and outsourcing services firm. On the web at wiseradvisory.com. And from Nextier, the leading public sector advisory firm focused on agriculture, power, and petroleum. On the web at nextierlimited.com. And from Data Century Limited. And from Total Ascent, empowering individuals and organizations to achieve their educational and career goals. On the web at total-ascent.com. And from Brave Little Heroes, helping kids discover their inner awesome. On the web at bravelittleheroes.com. To support Impact Africa, please visit our website, impactafricaonline.com. You are listening to Impact Africa. To connect with the program, please call 1-443-499-2755. That's 1-443-499-2755. You may also send an email to info@impactafricaonline.com or tweet at @UImpactAfrica. Now, back to our show.
Welcome back, everyone. We were just talking about how easy the first segment seemed to us because we were both so nervous. But, we're much better now. So during the break, we also discussed, before the break that is, we discussed the two main topics that we wanted to cover today. Because today's show is about what we anticipate from the U.S.-Africa Summit. And the two topics that we want to focus on are topics that we feel are growing challenges. And these are challenges that we think we should be putting more attention on. And we hope that during the Africa Summit, the U.S.-Africa Summit, these issues are addressed. The first one is youth and unemployment in Africa. One of my older brothers, his name is Ryan. He's really smart. He's the smartest person I know. One time he told me, when you go into a city, a way to discern unemployment rates is by looking outside in the cities and seeing people sitting around, loitering. And you can measure that, and you can correlate it to to unemployment, specifically youth unemployment. When you look at Africa, there's a lot of youth who are overeducated, really smart, and they are grinding, and they're starting businesses, and they're trying their best to survive and to support themselves and support their families. Not everyone in Africa is all about receiving aid. So we wanted to talk about the youth unemployment issue because it's something that we see as a growing issue, because first, Africa, the population of youth is higher than the general population. So we need to focus on this population because it's a growing, and it's the fastest growing demographic right now. So we're going to start with that. Go ahead. Tell us more about what we need to know about youth unemployment in Africa.
Well, just
tell us everything.
Everything. I'll tell you a little bit of what you just said. Really, the question of youth unemployment is an issue not only in Africa, really. I think it's a growing issue around the world. And maybe there's so many reasons why this has become more prevalent. I think it's because people are living longer these days. So they're not leaving their jobs soon enough.
What? Is that why?
It's part of the reason.
People are not dying fast enough. And so annoying when they do that.
And really, on a serious note, though.
You're right. Sorry.
On a serious note, we have people having to hold on to their jobs because the economy just requires them to do so. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they'll be out on the street too. So someone is going to be out on the street if things don't change.
Yeah.
And the question of youth unemployment is a particularly serious one because, like you said, the youth are overeducated. And the reason why you're saying they're overeducated is not just because they're getting so much information given to them and accreditations, but there are very few opportunities for them to implement this information or this knowledge. And when they do find it, they're underemployed. And that makes them overeducated in a sense, right?
See. Yeah.
So what happens when you travel across Africa, like you said, you see a lot of these youth quite hopeless now because they've been doing what everybody was told to do: go to school, work hard, and get employed.
Exactly.
But they're beginning to look at other ways by which they can be gainfully part of the economic activities in their economy in the countries.
Exactly, and this is not taught skills. These are kind of survival skills.
That's right.
And that can be said about the millennial generation here in the U.S. as well. Like you were saying, it's not an issue that's isolated in Africa. It's also here, where you find students, they have there's an algorithm you follow. You're supposed to go to high school, you take the standardized test and do well, go to college, possibly go to grad school, and then when you get out there, you're gonna get a job, and you're gonna get a lot of money. You're gonna buy a home, and you're gonna have a white picket fence. And then when they step out, they realize, oh my gosh, that's not what life was about. Like, what now? Now that I'm here and I have this education, this degree, what do I do with it? And
That's
they
right.
have to find their own way. Yeah.
Yeah, they also saw the Cinderella story, and that isn't unfolding the way they expected.
Not for
and
everyone.
So, and really, the truth is, not everybody is an entrepreneur. Some people will just are born to work within certain institutions and have to be hired. And so we have to look at, hopefully coming out of this summit next week, that this question of youth unemployment is really going to be properly addressed with bold moves to create those industries in partnership between the U.S. and African governments, particularly in the areas that would be require a lot of manpower, such as manufacturing. That is the kind of transformation that the U.S. had to go through back in the 1800s. It's really through manufacturing that they were able to jumpstart the U.S. economy hundreds of years ago. Yeah. So this is not different in the sense that, we have the manpower. We probably will not expect the older people to be so readily transforming or moving into the manufacturing sector, but these are opportunities that provide a lot of jobs, provide export potential, which would increase the economies across the continent, and generally would raise the Africa's market value.
Exactly.
We've been talking about Africa's market potential with a growing middle class. Yes, it is growing, but it's a little bit lethargic the rate at which it's growing. So, youth unemployment really does provide the opportunity to do that in various sectors.
So, thank you for that. By the way, you're so smart. You didn't even read that. You just spoke it. Who are you?
You're making me blush now.
That's no, actually,
we've all lived through this.
That's true.
So because we lived through this, we understand what the needs are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and the next one is about us too. It's women's economic empowerment. I'm gonna pay close attention to this part because I think it affects me first. Just kidding. So yeah, tell us about the women economic empowerment as it pertains to the U.S. Africa Summit.
So, the U.S. again, going back, Africa for a long time has been very slow in growing economically. And I think part of the reason that has been is that we haven't had access to energy, the right kind of energy, the kind of energy that transforms materials into goods that you can sell to other people, right? Mm-hmm. And it has also been because we, along with that, we haven't had access to that kind of energy that is able to support the health structures, supposed to help agricultural systems and productivity. And these are areas that affect women differentially. Healthcare, energy access. Women use energy, water access in very differential ways. And because of that, it begs us to require that the upcoming summit really does focus on the role of women empowerment in all of those sectors. Women must have their needs and their abilities to contribute to each of those sectors must be addressed from the beginning, from energy through public-private partnerships and small and medium enterprises, to healthcare, because without a healthy population, you can't have a vibrant economy.
Exactly.
And women are at the very core of this provision of health and ensuring of family health and so on and so forth. And water access. These are the people who have to work with it. And really, because they're the ones who deal with most of it, at least from the population and household areas, they should be involved in seeking and finding solutions for it.
Yeah. How do you think our grandmothers back in Ushago in Kenya, in Western Province, how do you think it affects them? Because if I go to my grandma right now, let's say she's about to go to the woods and get some firewood, and then she's going to go to the Mtoni, the river, to get some water. Right. How do I talk to her about energy and what that means for her? Because exactly as you said, she is the arbiter of the household. She knows, who needs what. She knows when the child is sick. She knows when, she knows everything about the household and about the family structure. How does that affect the rural woman way back, way like miles and miles away from where we are now discussing this?
Trust me, that rural woman knows more than anything that whenever she sends the kids out to go fetch firewood, they're taking longer and longer to return.
I see. See, those are the practical stuff I want to,
and I think that's because, they've taken everything from around the home and now they're seeking it farther and farther into the forest and maybe into the neighbors. And, if they're relying on firewood, sooner or later they're going to run out, and they're running out.
Oh my gosh,
so they know that. And the water, the same thing. They have relied on wells and rivers, and really they're not really rivers, they're streams.
Yeah, streams, yeah.
And so that has provided them, has sustained them for so long, but they're drying out.
I know, yeah.
And so you'll find that across Africa now we have such movements towards, developing water wells, drilling water wells.
And purification.
And they're also looking at solar power. They're beginning to warm up because they know they need an alternative. They need energy, they need water. So it's going to take as far as if we have governments coming up with programs that are supposed to channel these energy programs or energy initiatives that will require a change in lifestyle and outlook. Some capacity building, civil education needs to be factored into all of these policies that are coming up from the front end for them to be sustainably incorporated into the traditional way of life in Africa.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking about how, let's say, at nighttime, how we light the lamps, but the day goes by and we go to bed a little earlier because we don't have electricity. But if you had solar in the villages, people will be more productive, even when it's dark out. Little things like that are practical I think about, because I'm like, if we had solar energy, we wouldn't have to worry about making sure you rush up and do everything by 6 p.m. before it gets dark. It's great for family time. You get to spend more time with your family. But if you don't, you can actually go out and still do other things.
That's right. Actually, it's interesting that you say that. Statistically, it's been proven that when you increase the daylight to a child that goes to school and has to come back home in the rural areas. Not only that, but their grades greatly improve, almost exponentially. Yeah. So it makes every sense that if we do not provide rural access to electricity, for instance, then we're going to be hampering the youth's growth and educational achievements right from you're almost banishing them to fail in life. Okay. By preventing them from, being able to do very well in school.
Perfect. Oh, we covered all of that. High five. Awesome.
I guess we're just fast talkers.
All right, so we'll be back after this break, and the next the second part of the show, the second half of the show will be so much fun. We're about to call in, have a quiz, and do all the fun stuff. So let's go. Let's do it.
Okay.
Support for Impact Africa comes from Our Financial Coach, ranked among America's 11 best financial coaches on the web at ourfinancialcoach.com. United for Kids Foundation, committed to healing the world one child at a time. On the web at unitedforkidsfoundation.org. Frad Consulting, planning and designing services where you are always in good company. On the web at fradconsulting.com. And from Outside in HR, pointing great companies to the future of successful HR. On the web at outsideinhrng.com. And from Wiser Advisory, Africa's leading financial advisory, training and outsourcing services firm. On the web at wiseradvisory.com. And from Nextier, the leading public sector advisory firm focused on agriculture, power, and petroleum. On the web at nextierlimited.com. And from Data Century Limited. And from Total Ascent, empowering individuals and organizations to achieve their educational and career goals. On the web at total-ascent.com. And from Brave Little Heroes, helping kids discover their inner awesome. On the web at bravelittleheroes.com. To support Impact Africa, please visit our website, impactafricaonline.com. You are listening to Impact Africa. To connect with the program, please call 1-443-499-2755. That's 1-443-499-2755. You may also send an email to info@impactafricaonline.com or tweet @UImpactAfrica. Now, back to our show. The Africa 101 segment is sponsored by the African Memory Game, available online at theafricamemorygame.com.
Hi, everyone. We're back, and I'm sure everyone is excited about the quiz, but not so fast. First, we're going to talk about africadevjobs.com, where we have Africa development jobs or jobs related to Africa. And today, from africadevjobs.com, we have two opportunities we'd like to announce. One of them is the Organization for Women in Science for the Developing World Fellowship. This fellowship program is for female students from sub-Saharan Africa or women who wish to pursue post-grad training leadership, leading to a doctorate at a center of excellence outside their own country. And the general purpose of the scheme is to contribute to the emergence of new generation of women leaders in science, technology, and to promote their effective participation in the scientific and technological development in their countries. And the deadline is August 15th. If you didn't understand what I was saying, please visit africadevjobs.com. That looks like a good one. And the deadline is on the 15th, so you have 12 days. Do it now. All right. The next one is the Ibrahim Leadership Fellowship Program. And the fellowships form a selective program designed to identify and support potential African leaders of the future. The fellows receive mentoring from the current leaders of key multilateral institutions. The fellowships will be offered at the Africa Development Bank, the International Trade Center, and the United Nations Economic Commissions of Africa. That deadline is September 12th, so you have a little time, so you can kind of slack off on that. All right, so that's the Afro-opportunities. African opportunities from africadevjobs.com. Shout out to Nina. All right. So on the call, hello.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome, Aduni and Ayo. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for waking up. All right. So we're gonna get started, and each question is 20 seconds. So imagine what's the name of that show? What did
Jeopardy?
Yes, I do know. What's the name of that show? Yeah, that show.
It's a mind thing.
Yeah, imagine 20 seconds. So we're going to get started. We have 10 questions. And let's start with alphabetically, Aduni, right?
Right.
So let's get started with you. And you get to pick question, either 10 questions. Pick one of them and we can get started. Which number do you want?
So just so I understand, you and I are competing on this.
No. They're competing against each other.
Oh,
We
okay.
just get to listen and, make fun of them.
All right. Oh my goodness. Okay, that will be much more fun.
I know. Relax. Wusa. All right. So, Aduni, what number do you want?
Lucky number 7.
Oh, all right. So, number 7. The biggest county based on area in sub-Saharan Africa is A, Democratic Republic of Congo, or Nigeria.
Based on what again?
The biggest country based on area in sub-Saharan Africa is A, Democratic Republic of Congo, or Nigeria. Go.
DRC Congo.
Holla, you got that right.
Too smart. I would never have guessed
That was
one.
easy. All right, so let's go, Ayo. What number?
I'll pick 5.
Number 5. The current president of Zambia is A, Kenneth Kaunda, or B, Mike Sata. Go.
I'll go with B.
Michael Sata? You're right. All right, let's go back to you, Aduni. What number?
Number
like?
1.
Number 1. Let's do this. All right. What is the capital of Angola? A, Luanda, or B, Lobito?
Luanda.
Nice. You guys are killing it. Okay. All right.
Sounded like a guess there. A very good guess.
I hope you guys are not Googling, typing really fast. All right.
In 20 seconds? Mm-mm.
Ayo, what number would you like?
4.
Number 4. All right. Which of the following countries got its name from River Zambezi? Is it A, Zimbabwe, or B, Zambia?
I'll go with Zambia.
Nice.
Jeez, nice. You got it. All right. So this is just, you guys are way too smart. I don't like this. So, okay. So Aduni, you go next. Let's see. What number would you like?
Number 10.
Number 10. All right.
Can one take a previously taken number?
Nah, they wish. You're so silly. I'm like, yeah, they can't. No, I can't. No. Got me there. The Two Oceans Aquarium is one of the top tourist attractions in A, Cape Town, South Africa. The Two Oceans Aquarium is one of the top tourist attractions in A, Cape Town, South Africa, or B, Dakar, Senegal.
The Oceans Aquarium. I will go with Senegal.
Oh, the answer was Cape Town, South Africa.
You wanted her to fail.
I did not want her to do anything. You don't know that. All right. So next is what number would you like? What number?
3.
Number 3. All right. Brazzaville, the capital of Congo, was named after Pierre Brazza, a French explorer who discovered it. Is this true or is it false?
Oh.
Oh, it's true.
Oh, Lord.
By the way, you should know I know no answers. I don't know any of the answers to these questions. So who's next? What number is? Oh, we have number 2 and number 6, 8, 9 left.
Okay, I'll do number 9.
Number 9. All right. Shaka Zulu, the great warrior and founder of Zulu Kingdom, was born in A, 1887, or B, 1787.
That I don't know, but 1887.
Which one?
1887.
1787?
1887.
1887 is not the right answer. I was trying to give you the right one.
That's right. It's too early. I haven't had coffee yet.
Yeah, I'm sure if you had caffeine, you would have known that one.
I mean, I like Shaka
Yeah,
Zulu, but I
right.
would never have gotten that.
I would not have gotten that either. All right, so we have 3 more questions. Number 2, number 6, or 8.
I'll go with number 2.
Okay, number 2. Who was the first president of Gabon? Is it Leon Mba or Ali Bongo?
I'll go with Ali Bongo.
Oh man, you guys are tied. That's not right. The right one is Leon Ba. And
Okay.
I just like feeling authoritative, like I know these answers by heart. I love it. I would have been struggling.
I'm learning from them.
I'm learning too. All right, we have number 6 and number 8 left.
Number 8. And what sort of questions are this?
You know what, Tope? Tope is watching live. Tope, what are you doing? What are you getting these questions, huh? All right, so number 6 or number 8?
Number 8.
Okay, who was the first explorer to cross the Democratic Republic of Congo?
Uh-oh.
Was it was it A? Wait, what? What question was that again?
Number 8.
I knew that. Just kidding. Who was the first explorer to cross the Democratic Republic of Congo? Was it A, Henry Morton Stanley, or B, Jean-Francois Champollion?
I'll go with Jean-Francois just because it's French.
Oh, man, it was Henry Morton Stanley.
Oh, well. I tried.
And finally, number 6. Which country has colonized the Comoros Islands? Is it Spain or is it France?
Spain.
It's France. Oh, it's a tie.
It's a tie.
I don't know what happens when there's a tie. Should I ask them a tiebreaker question? I had a total of 10 questions. So, what do we usually do when it's a tie? Should we a tiebreaker question? Are we gonna guess?
Is there a price so I can know? I can think really hard
Say it again.
about answering the tiebreaker question.
I know. I'm trying to think of a tiebreaker question. Maybe I should. Maybe we should just think of one, and then we'll go on commercial. And when we come back from commercial, we'll have one we can ask you guys and trip you up again.
Okay.
All right. Hold on, please. Thank you so much for calling in. Hold on.
Support for Impact Africa comes from Our Financial Coach, ranked among America's 11 best financial coaches on the web at ourfinancialcoach.com. United for Kids Foundation, committed to healing the world one child at a time. On the web at unitedforkidsfoundation.org. Frad Consulting, planning and designing services where you are always in good company. On the web at fradconsulting.com. And from Outside in HR, pointing great companies to the future of successful HR. On the web at outsideinhrng.com. And from Wiser Advisory, Africa's leading financial advisory, training and outsourcing services firm. On the web at wiseradvisory.com. And from Nextier, the leading public sector advisory firm focused on agriculture, power, and petroleum. On the web at nextierlimited.com. And from Data Century Limited. And from Total Ascent, empowering individuals and organizations to achieve their educational and career goals. On the web at total-ascent.com. And from Brave Little Heroes, helping kids discover their inner awesome. On the web at bravelittleheroes.com. To support Impact Africa, please visit our website, impactafricaonline.com. You are listening to Impact Africa. To connect with the program, please call 1-443-499-2755. That's 1-443-499-2755. You may also send an email to info@impactafricaonline.com or tweet at @UImpactAfrica. Now, back to our show.
Welcome back, everyone. That was last segment was Africa 101, and it's in partnership with the Africa Memory Game. We'd like to thank them for providing these questions. And Ayo and Aduni were our contestants. Hi, guys. Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, there you are. Whew, I was about to be like, come on now. All right, so we have a tiebreaker because you guys tied so well. so smart. And the question is, who is the first leader of the Gambia? And the first person to answer the question wins, of course. So who's the first leader of the Gambia? 20 seconds.
We don't get.
You don't get options. You just Google it, maybe. Just kidding. Don't Google it.
Dawda Jawara.
Say it again.
Dawda Jawara.
I can't believe you just Googled that. Who is this? Aduni or Ayo?
Aduni. You said
Aduni.
Google it. My computer is right here.
I knew it. See? That's what people do now, you know?
Oh, boy. No, you said Google it. You didn't give us options. I don't even know who the first leader of my country. Okay.
Well, that is the right answer, of course, Google. And we want to thank you guys for joining us. Aduni, you're the winner.
Yay!
And Tope will follow up and we'll have a semifinals. I hope to see you there because I also won the last time I was here. So I look forward to showing up, with my Google right on hand. And I hope to win. Thank you so much again for participating. And we'll get back to you. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. Have a great day.
Bye.
So before we wrap up, I would like to thank our guest today, Letitia Mulamula. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was awesome. And could you please tell us more about how we can find out about the events that you are throwing this week?
Certainly. To learn more about our events and register, participate, you can visit our website at www.eadiaspora.org, events. And you can also go to our Facebook page. Just if you type in Eastern Africa Diaspora Business Council, it'll lead you straight to our events page, and you'll learn more about what we're doing next week and also what we've been doing in the past year and a half.
Yes, thank you. And I encourage all of you to check out the websites. Go online, find out about the U.S. Africa Summit. A lot of people, for some reason, don't know that it's here. It's us in the diaspora who were so excited, but we'd like for the events to be a shared experience. To find out more about the Invisible Neighbors, please go to theinvisibleneighbors.com and reach out to me. I would love to engage further. And I look forward to seeing all of you during the summit. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And Tope, I would like to thank you again for this opportunity. Of course, I was nervous and scared because you're not here, but I'm in good hands. I arrived early, and the staff and the crew told me I was doing great already before anything even started. And, I was ordering them around and, doing what bosses do. I would just imagine what Tope would do. And I did it. And I think they like me, So I hope this is one of many, right? Maybe? All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to Impact Africa. Please join us again next Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. GMT at listenvisionlive.com. Have a good week and keep impacting Africa.